I do not run a Jerry Springer show. I do not run a Jerry Springer show.
I don't feel safe, and it seemed like you were getting a little angry. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not getting angry, sir.
We've got a police officer and we've got a prosecutor. Both are state actors, and they're trying to bring charges against me. And I just want to know, because you are a judge and you are another state actor, am I going to get a fair and meaningful hearing here? Because I'm being labeled and called the defendant here. And what I'd like to be called is the victim. Outstanding, because I'd like to talk to this prosecutor who I suspect is a criminal at this time.
This idiot sovereign citizen was just in court, and what followed might be one of the dumbest hearings I've ever seen. This dude shows up acting like he's the victim. Meanwhile, he's facing charges for resisting arrest and pulling his usual frauditor nonsense, like he's auditioning for a How to Lose a Case documentary. And the judge, he was so heated in this one too. This one turns into a full-on courtroom meltdown, and watching this guy try to self-represent himself with Google-level legal knowledge is both hilarious and painful. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Zoom court hearings, because in my opinion, I think it's just out of control at this point, especially with these sovereign citizens. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive in here and watch this judge completely humble this clown sovereign citizen.
Okay, Mr. People versus Lanto.
Your Honor, James Kazicki, I'm asking the court right now if I could withdraw on this matter. I don't think I could adequately help Mr. Lanto in his legal arguments, because I'm not familiar with the issues in it. And I'm just asking the court if I can withdraw.
All right. Then, Mr. Lanto, then I can appoint a different court-appointed attorney.
Well, I just want to clarify and make sure I'm going to be able to speak for myself in the court. I don't want anybody speaking for me. As a matter of fact, I mean, all I really want is to be left alone. So that's first and foremost. And then as far as an audio-only recording, I was told that there's an objection to the audio-only recording. And I'd like to know, I don't feel safe without a recording. So is there any reasonable objection?
Well, first off, you can't record in the courts of law. They're already, if you'd like a transcript, everything is already being recorded by my court recorder. And I can assure you that there's no, the recording device is on and it records, and that's what she does. She records everything. So if you'd like a transcript of that after the proceedings, you're more than welcome to order a transcript. So
I've been told that before, and then when it comes to getting the transcripts, I still am waiting for the transcripts when I was told that in the past. So, well, like I said, I don't feel safe without a report.
I know that you're not talking about the 23rd District Court, because I know if you've ordered a transcript from my court, those are always forthcoming. I've never had to deny anybody a transcript. So if that happened to you in another court, then I suggest that you call the State Bar of Michigan and report that court, because obviously they're not doing things correctly.
Well, yeah, I have no desire to do that. All I want is to have fair and meaningful hearings. And well, I mean, first off, I'd simply just like to be left alone. But other than that, I mean, to get fair and
I get that, but obviously you had an interaction with somebody where they are alleging that because today's the date and time set for the arraignment. So I want to make sure that you understand. I need the phone. On the date and time in question, it is alleged that, because first let me do the arraignment part, because you need to I need to let you know what exactly you're being charged with. All right. So you say you want to be left alone, but they are claiming that there was an interaction. Now, first off, you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney if you got a 411 will be appointed to you by the court at public expense. Now, it is alleged that on November the 17th of 2022, while in the city of Taylor, that you violated City Ordinance 32-31, which is a charge commonly known as interfering with the police authority. That is a misdemeanor punishable by 93 days in jail and or up to $500 in fines. So, as to that charge, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Well, first, can I just make a few clarifications?
I'm going to caution you that anything you say can and will be used against you. So
I understand.
As to guilty or not guilty, that's just the only question I'm asking right now.
Well, in order to say guilty or not guilty,
Or you can stand mute, which means I'm not saying anything, and then I will enter a plea of not guilty for you, so that you don't have to
Okay.
say anything, and it automatically goes to not guilty. So are
Well,
you pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute?
Well, before I make a plea, you stated that I have the right to be informed of the cause and nature of the charges, correct?
As you guys can see from that timer in the bottom left, this is the exact moment he launches into his sovereign citizen nonsense. It's like clockwork every single time. Instead of just pleading not guilty like a normal human being, he decides to give the judge a TED talk on why stop signs are apparently unconstitutional. I mean, this can't be real, right? This is like watching somebody try to hack the legal system using a Facebook meme they screenshotted in 2012. What's crazy is there are still people online who genuinely think this stuff is a legal loophole. And I hope it's not one of you guys in the comments below. But yeah, they just think if you say magic words, the Constitution turns into a scratch-off ticket. But yeah, let's go ahead and see how long it takes before he hits that legal kill switch and sends this whole fantasy back to Reddit where it belongs.
Right, which is what I just told you. I just told you what the charge was.
Okay, and you're stating that it's based on an interaction. So my guess is that you have no firsthand knowledge of anything that happened.
Well, I'm not stating anything. All I'm telling you is what the people of the city of Taylor have charged you with. They have charged you with a violation of City Ordinance 32-31. That ordinance is commonly known as, by name, as interfering with police authority. I'm not putting any allegations. I'm not stating any facts. I'm merely stating what has happened to get this case into my courtroom. That's it.
Well, you sound awfully fair to this point, and I certainly appreciate that. Because yeah, and just to be specific, it's not the people of the city of Taylor, it's David Jones, and then I don't know the name of the prosecutor, and I just want to make sure that the prosecutor is aware of, Section 241, Section 242, Title 18, deprivation of rights under color of law. I want to know if they're aware of that.
Well, first off, that's a separate. What you're talking about is civil type cases.
Well, it's also criminal.
So what I'm saying is, in this matter, the matter that is before me, okay, is a misdemeanor matter where it is alleged that you violated an ordinance of the city of Taylor. The people of the city of Taylor, through their attorney, have acted to bring a case against you. So the only thing I can do right now is ask you, are you pleading guilty, not guilty, or standing mute?
Can I have the name of that prosecutor that's bringing the charges? Because I've had in another case where a prosecutor stated at 3 proceedings away from the arraignment, she stated that after reviewing the video and speaking to the witness.
I'm going to take your response as being non-responsive, which is
well, I object to that.
Do with being guilty or not guilty. So I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty for you.
I object to that. I object to that.
Okay, then are you guilty or not guilty? Or standing mute? Those are the 3 things we got going on right now.
Well, I first have to clarify. You did say that I was presuming.
Don't have to clarify anything, sir. I'm being very fair with you. And right now, you're basically splitting legal hairs. Right now, the only thing that I have jurisdiction over is do an arraignment. Nothing more can happen in this case until the arraignment happens. And the arraignment is whether or not you plead guilty or not guilty. And if you're unresponsive to that question, then I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty for you so that I can protect your constitutional rights, because a lot of people don't know that they should. So that's why I enter a plea of not guilty for people who don't really know how to answer the question. So that way they're not getting, no one's going to be bamboozled or said that, well, you said guilty and you didn't know what was going on. I don't want that to happen. I say that you're either going to plead guilty, not guilty. If someone is unresponsive to that question, then I automatically just enter a plea of not guilty for them so that they can preserve all of their rights to a trial and everything else without having been forced to be pleading guilty. So by you saying everything else, that's all well and good, but it's not the time and place for it. See, that's the problem is there's a time and place for everything in a matter of procedures of courts. And when you just start trying to jump the gun and go right from 0 to 60, that's not how it works. There's a stepping process, and everything has to go in that process. And the process today is an arraignment. It's just an arraignment where I'm telling the individual who is alleged to be a defendant what the allegations are. And the allegation is that you violated a city ordinance, and that city ordinance is basically one commonly known as interfering with the police authority. So
Well,
and letting you know what the charge is and letting you know what the penalty for it is. And I've
well,
already
yeah.
stated. So again, I'm going to ask you guilty or not guilty.
Well, I certainly appreciate the explanation. It seemed like you were getting a little angry. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not getting angry, sir.
This right here is exactly why I wish Zoom court hearings never would have happened. The second you give a sovereign citizen access to Wi-Fi and a ring light, suddenly it's I object to this entire system, Your Honor, and also my webcam's not working. Just tell me how that makes sense. This guy's literally trying to provoke the judge into snapping too, just so he could spin it later and say the court was biased. Like, you can't get lower than that. It's pretty much like suing a restaurant because your food was bad, even after you threw it on the floor. And the wildest part of this whole thing, there's actually legal precedent where judges have to recuse themselves over nonsense like this, just because if they're perceived to be too frustrated. I mean, it's like handing a toddler a chainsaw and blaming the parent when something gets cut. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Zoom court hearings. I mean, I know I've been saying it a lot, but man, this just drives me crazy.
But I'm literally stating that nobody's trying to bamboozle you or anything like that. I don't know what happened in some other court, and everything that you want to do, you can still do. I just need to know if you're pleading guilty or not guilty. And if you're not answering that question, then I'll enter a plea of not guilty for you so that it preserves all of your constitutional rights and the case still moves forward.
Right. You said we're interested in preserving my constitutional rights, correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
And then one of those.
What I'm saying is everything that you're saying can be used against you. If you think that you have a motion to dismiss, that's something that you can do, but that's when the case is already going to the next stage. Which is,
well, like I said,
of not guilty for you.
Well, like I said, I would just prefer to be left alone and not have to come back at all. And then if we're not going to do that, then I definitely like to have fair and meaningful hearings. And my concern is we've got a police officer and we've got a prosecutor, both are state actors, and they're trying to bring charges against me. And I just want to know, because you are a judge and you are another state actor, am I going to get a fair and meaningful hearing here?
And I'm telling you that I keep right here. Hang on 1 second. Copy of my, sir, please. I have not cut you off at any point. Please don't cut me off. This is a copy of my oath of office. And why do I keep it here? Because it constantly reminds me that what am I going to do? I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office. So I take that very seriously. My son serves in the Marines. He takes his duty to uphold the Constitution seriously. So if you are